Look, or you put that shit in t-shirts.
Yo, what's going on? And welcome to Vince Bracy on Air. In this edition, I chatted with Stationhead's own Taylor CHANTE of TC Media to talk about her journey behind the camera and now in front of the mic. Enjoy the interview.
All it took to get here, put miles on them tires, boy, I swear we had some good years. Every night it wasn't footage, cause you was on your dolo. And what they don't know is 50 at the go-go, 20 for the door, man, I was 30 left over. 10 for a drink just to calm your nerves. And you there with a USB to get a DJ. Just hoping he would play his shit.
TC, can you use my favorite thing to say? I can't wait to say this. TC, can you just hit that little red that little red microphone for me? Now, TC, once again, I have a super dope person from New Jersey. She's been doing her thing for quite some time. I'd like to take the credit for introducing her to Stationhead. You know what I'm saying? I had her as my videographer when I went down to Stationhead headquarters for one of the very last times in New York. Before I moved out here to LA, and yeah, she enjoyed her experience. She saw what was going on. We did a couple interviews. Shout out to Serena. Shout out to Kaz. And now she's here, man. Now she's here. She's been doing it for some while. I feel like the quarantine kind of, as much as it messed things up for people, it kind of brought out some of the best in her, and she really inspired me in this time too. She's had all types of artists, all types of public figures, people from actors and actresses. Most recently, Chante Moore, her namesake, was a part of her show. She's had Tank from Tank and the Bangers, which I know is like one of her super favorite artists of all time. So I'm happy to have seen her get to interview one of her favorites. But right now we have with us TC Media, Taylor Chante. How you doing today, girl?
Good morning, gang. How's everybody doing? Vince Bracy, thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
No doubt. I'm happy to have you on the show. So first off, I wanted to start off by how are you enjoying your time on Stationhead? That's my first thing, because I try to introduce the app to a lot of people, and I feel like it doesn't always necessarily stick, or people like, oh, people realize what a dope opportunity is for artists. And I thank you for sharing Cash Johnson's music with us as well.
Of course.
Because, you know what I'm saying, when you get an opportunity to share your music with, people from all over the world, all over the country and stuff like that, people may have never heard that before. I just think it's a super dope opportunity. So how are you liking Stationhead so far?
I'm loving it. I feel like I'm ripping through Stationhead, honestly, because it brought out a different type of potential in me. So it's leading me to more opportunities and to get more clients when it comes to my photography, my videography. So I'm loving Stationhead, and I'm bringing a lot of people to Stationhead.
Yeah, no, that's
pretty
great.
dope.
And that's the main thing that I appreciate about that. So you got your start, just to give people an idea of, you were calling yourself Taylor Chante Photography for a while. Now you Taylor Chante Official, you know what I'm saying? So give people an idea of how you got your start into media in general.
So I want to say 10 years ago is when I got my first camera. It was a point and shoot. And I was just going around my high school taking photos, and everybody would be like, oh boy, it's the girl with the camera. And then a couple years later, I decided to quit and make music. Like, I wanted to put all my music out. And I couldn't find anyone to record my music videos or do any of my photo shoots. So me and my partner at the time, we had the O2 group, and we were just like, yo, let's go back to school. So collectively, we were like, yo, we're going back to school. I'm like, I'm going to go to school for film. I'm going to go for photography. We're going to get this done. I'm doing photojournalism. You're going to school for business management. That's it. And then the group, actually, we split up as artists because we're like, okay, yeah, we're 22, 23. They don't want to hear our music. So we just took that career path, and I made it my own. And then I picked up, more in photography, and then I got a DSLR, and now I'm shooting with the Sony. And it's amazing because I worked with some of the greats. I worked with Nimi Hendrix, who's a dope cinematographer.
Yes, I'm starting to see more Nimi Hendrix work everywhere too. Very, very dope.
I've gotten to shoot so many celebrities. I mean, I've shot someone from MMG. Obviously you, I followed you around. DJ Drewski, followed
Yeah,
him around. There's so many big names that Rackboy Cam, shout out to him, of course. Um, that got me so many opportunities. My last event was PNB Rock before everything happened.
yeah,
And, world shut down and I was supposed to do Rod Wave and Pop Smoke.
crazy.
So now I'm on Stationhead because of quarantine, and I fell into a small depression because I couldn't go out and shoot. And if I can't be creative, I get really depressed. And there's nothing that can break me out of that except art. I have to create. So I just jumped on Stationhead. Shout out to Vince Bracy always. I jumped on Stationhead, and I'm just like, I like talking. Let me use this to my advantage. So I just broke out of my depression. I took a hot shower. I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and I don't care if only 3 people listen.
Come on.
Come today, my first 2 months, I had 2K listens. So it's not like I'm not. People listen to my show as their radio. They put it on their Bluetooth. Just that support. And now I've had big names on Stationhead, and people acknowledge me. The follows. I mean, shout out to Vina Love, who's now following me.
Hey,
Most of Tank and the Bangers is following me. I've made some dope connections through just my voice from Stationhead. So now I'm booking bigger clients for the rest of my media. So it's Taylor Chante Officials, no more just photography. Why? Because I do a little bit of everything when it comes to media.
talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah, no, that's
That
very,
that's
very
that's
dope.
that's how
I'm
it
glad,
goes.
and I told you I gave you props, and yeah, even me reaching out to Neiman Johnson, it's like I've met this guy in person before. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody I admire. I've told him, in the DMs, like, yo, I really, want to do stuff that you guys are doing. Like, I appreciate this. So like it took Taylor Shante and me seeing her, interview all these people. I'm like, yo, man, I can interview people. What am I doing? like
Right.
I'm a
I mean,
host.
just
Like,
go
this is
for
what
it.
I do as a person. You know what I'm saying? So I should be taking the time to reach out to as many people that inspire me as well. So I really was hyped to see you not just come into yourself as a media personality, but also like reach out to people that you wanted to speak to. So
Right.
I thought that was the dopest thing in the
The
world.
worst thing that can happen is they say no.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yo,
it.
the worst thing is that somebody will say no.
What
Well,
they're gonna
I'm
say
still
no.
curious to know. I know you were having a hard time trying to decide, yo, who's next? Who do I who do I talk to next?
Yo,
I want to know
who's
if you
next
have
is
any
crazy.
goals set, like, yo, this person is gonna be on my show soon. And shout out to
Right
Bracy, by the way.
now, Um, I'm currently trying to get into a fashion designer who's had their stuff, in Vogue magazines and, done a lot of red carpets. And I'm reaching out to a big designer, and I want it to be on a Friday, so it could be Fashion Fridays on TC Media. But now I feel like since I have this platform and I've interviewed the greats, I want to reach out a little locally to some indie, designers, indie artists, and give them their shot, which is why I'm doing TC Takeover. This whole week was TC Media Takeover, and it's me reaching out to local people like, hey, listen, I have this show. This is my following, whatever. You're an entrepreneur. You're inspiring to do this. Take over my show. I'll just be there to play the music, or if things go left, I'll pick up. But use this opportunity. Use my platform as yours. So this is my week to give back, and then obviously next month we coming out with bangers, so I could get
Keep
everything
banging
back
out.
on the road again. So I definitely have to. I like to give back as much as I can, even if it's not money. If I have an opportunity, I always like to give that back out. You never know how I can inspire someone else, so let's just do it.
There you go. So I'm big on following your dreams. I'm big on opportunities, as you mentioned. So I'm curious to know, like, what drives you. What is pushing TC Media to do all the great things that she's doing? Because, like I said, I'm inspired, and something that I listen to your show as often as I possibly can. And your show is again at 6:30 p.m. tonight, right?
Yep,
Yeah, so I'm
6:30 tonight.
I'm curious, like, where do you get this drive from? Like, I've even spoken to you about your organization, which is something that I will admit that I lack. So I had to go and get myself a planner because TC said she got a planner, and I keep mine. Oh, knocking my microphone. I keep my planner next to me at all times now. I make sure I got my
All
planner on
right,
me.
so you need
So
it.
yeah, like I said, even me turning 32 this year, like I'm I've never been the most organized person in the world, but uh I'm just curious, what is it that makes you want to do the things that you do?
Um, I'm gonna say this with hopefully it makes sense. I'm afraid of failure, and you only fail when you quit. I'm afraid of disappointing myself, so I
Mm.
always have to go for it. It
Real
may
shit.
not seem like it, but when I was younger, I was like trapped. Like I felt like I fit in too much this place, and I didn't fit enough this place. But I was sometimes, I felt sheltered. Like I'm different from my family. Everybody in my family, there's doctors, there's lawyers, they have this business. I'm an artist. I'm a
Wow.
creative. Like I can't
You a
do
little bit of a
if it's
black
not
sheep.
food, right? If it's not about food, because I love the food industry as well. Um, it's art for me. I have to be creative, and I want my little sisters to live in their dreams, and I want my godson and I want my brothers to live their dreams instead of chasing them. Right now, I'm chasing my dreams so that they can live from theirs. And it's okay. It's okay to have a 9 to 5. It's okay to hustle. It's okay to grind. But at the end of the day, what's going to keep me going is I need to build a name for me so that everyone under me can eat. They can live their dreams. They don't have to worry about mom and dad like, well, you should probably do this because this isn't going to work for you. Just live them. I built the platform. I built the foundation. And this is what's next. And to my friends, my associates, like now they have, oh, it's TC Media. Like this is great. Their kids look up to me. My cousins think I'm famous. I don't know why,
Come
but
on now.
my
That's a
little sister thinks I'm a celebrity. Like I can't. My godmother, she's like, okay, hey Hollywood, hey superstar. That's manifesting things, and the fact that my little sister thinks I'm famous and my little cousins think I'm a celebrity, I can't let them down. I
can't let
can't
them down.
because that's how they look at me. So that's my drive right there. Because I never want them to feel how I felt chasing my dreams. Just live them. Just do what you got to do. Eat. I made it. Eat it. Like that's what you got to do.
Damn straight, damn straight. Now I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've started my journey as a host about 10 years ago, and probably within my first year, like you said, people was like, "Oh, Vince Bracy is famous. Vince Bracy is this." So it's kind of like you do kind of have that. Oh, I don't want to let these people down. You always have to remember why you started. That's something that I take very seriously. You know what I'm saying? If you
Right.
said, "Oh, I want to." Either be famous or I want to help people or I want to let the world know about brand new artists or I want to show people artwork or stuff like that. It's about staying true to yourself and making sure
Right.
that you push yourself to the limits. And like you
I
said, the
mean, you
worst
can't tell
that
me Vince
happens is that
Bracy is
somebody
not a
say no at
celebrity.
the end of the day. And you in control of your own destiny for the most point.
Vince Bracy
Shout out
is
to
a
One Two Town
celebrity.
Steve
Vince
to
Bracy is
build the brand
famous.
also. So I'm
Of
curious
course.
about the brand TC Media. Like I said, I've known you. We met actually at the movement,
At the movements
New
like
Jersey.
four
Shout
years
out to
ago.
DJ Drewski. Crazy, crazy. We didn't even
That's
talk
like
about that.
four. Was it like 4 years ago?
It was about 2 years ago, probably around the same time too.
I want to say three.
Yeah,
I want. It's been longer than 2 years. It definitely has.
I'm not sure.
It's
I was
crazy.
so yeah,
It's
at least
2020 now.
two, maybe 2.5 years, maybe
That's
something
maybe.
like
That
that. But yeah,
maybe.
we met at the movement. Uh, 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 Basically like a platform put together by DJ Drewski from Hot 97, where
Before you
he
get into that,
had a bunch of local artists come together. It was kind of like a showcase, but there was no
yeah,
prize or anything like that. It was just an area for you to work out. He called it the gym. And I was blessed for the opportunity to host that because I was me being Vince Bracy. I was like, I need to host something. That's what I do. I try to figure out a way to get into any possible platform, anywhere that there's a microphone, anywhere that there's a need for a host. I'm gonna try to make myself there. So TC was there taking pictures. Some very dope artists came through. She got some wonderful shots of all these artists, and she's already been doing that though. She already had that. So I'm curious to know like all the different types of relationships that you've made with a bunch of different artists. You had mentioned that you were supposed to shoot Pop Smoke before you passed, unfortunately. Also, Rod Wave before COVID. You've introduced me to a few people from growing up hip hop. I don't know if I could ask where you get your connects at, but how do
no,
you
no,
how
no,
do you
no,
form
no.
these relationships? Because I feel
I'm
like
here to drop some
something
gems.
I've said to you before. After every interview that you've had, those people become your best friends, and I think that's so dope.
First, before I get into that, as Vince, you were talking about how we met.
Yes.
I just want to throw it out there how nervous I was to ask Vince Bracy if I can follow him around. I mean, every Monday, every other Monday, I'm at the movement. I'm just like, yo, I gotta shoot this guy. So I would just take dope pictures and I send it to him. Now everybody else have to go through a link, but I would send you your pictures, and I'm just like, I gotta go for it. And that was honestly my first step into not being afraid. It was that moment, and I want to appreciate you for the next moment was when we did the reunion at Lehman College.
Yes,
Was it
yes.
a
I had you
reunion?
because that's the thing. When you said you was like, "Yo, can I
I
shoot you some?" I was like, "Yo, I got a couple events that I need some work for." So
I wish you could have felt what I felt at that moment. I am deadly afraid of stages. I'm afraid of heights. I don't even like step stools. I'm short. So the fact that she was like, nah, come on stage. I text my best friend. I'm like, yo, he wants me to go on stage. If I fall off, please don't laugh. Like, DJ Self is about to be on his way here. And those two moments broke me out of my shell, honestly. This is why I give you so much praise and appreciation, because I'm not afraid to ask anybody, listen, do this with me, do this for me. Thanks. And also, I've now gotten the opportunity to be on stage with celebrities to take photos. And I'm
yes,
not afraid. It's just like, this is what I was born to do. Again, now
for
let's get
sure.
into, as we get into these connections. Listen, do just photography and videography. I've worked with different stylists and designers. And the one thing about me is I go for it even if I feel embarrassed after.
Mm.
I go for it. I just ask. I just ask. When you ask, you need to present yourself how you want them to take you. So if you go, yo, let me take pictures of you, they're going to be like, yo, get out of my DMs or leave you on scene. But if you have a platform, if you have a layout, if you have a blueprint of exactly what you want done, it will happen. Being in the entertainment industry and the music industry, you have to build relations. You have to build relationships with people.
Facts.
And not burn your bridges, because you never know who the next person knows. Cash Johnson, shout out to Cash, who's probably one of my favorite indie artists. I met him at the movement. I took a dope picture of him,
Wow.
and he was just like, yo, how do I get more pictures? And I'm just like, don't worry about the price right now. Let me just take more pictures of you. And now we have this bond. You always want to build certain things with people, because
And don't
that's
be
where your
afraid to work for
loyalty
money,
is.
people. That's a tip I give people a lot of times too.
Of course, like that that's what builds it. You only need about 50 to 100 solid people, and I don't have that 50 to 100 solid people.
Mm.
After that, that multiplies. So you want to keep these people in your corner, because that's loyalty. They're gonna have you. Like, if you have an event, they're gonna be like, all right, if I can't be there, I'll just buy a ticket to support. And especially when it comes to music, you need those solid listeners. You need those solid people streaming your music, so that it multiplies. And that's where the loyalty is. Now you get to sell out arenas. Now you doubled your money. As far as the show, I talk a lot. I ask them personal questions, but I ask questions that make them think, opposed to what they think they're going to come on the show and say.
Mm.
I don't send out my questions unless I've had one person ask, can you send me, my manager wants the questions. I'm like, fine, okay, because I really need you on the show. I don't ask, you need to make people think, but think outside of the box. They're probably like, oh, I'm just going to go on this little show and she's going to ask me about my music, tell me she's a fan. And I'm just saying, how was your childhood growing up? I know you have 10 siblings.
Like, oh, dang,
Did you ever feel lonely? And they're like, whoa, oh, wow. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to ask you where you see yourself in 5 years. I'm going to ask you, tell yourself something now from 5 years ago that you wish you knew.
Mm.
These are things that keep people entertained by you. And shout out to everybody from Taking the Bangers. I started off just following them around, and now I can just be like, hey, what's up? Like, it's a genuine bond. So stay loyal to yourself, stay loyal to your brand, stay loyal to your name,
Yes,
because with your own loyalty, that's going to build relationships with people and connections that you could ever imagine. Like, that's how I go about it.
I
And
love
how do
that.
I meet people? I talk a lot. And I don't really take no for an answer, because once you tell me no, I'm gonna go to somebody bigger, and I'm gonna go do something bigger. And the next time we speak, you're going to be asking me, and I won't be asking you. That's how I think about it.
That's real. That's real. Now, you sent me a couple of songs. You sent me the Cash Johnson song that we started with, and a Corey Ellis joint that we're gonna finish this interview off with. But before we get to
Of
that, I
course.
want to know. I want to know what's first off. What's next for TC? What she got going on?
Oh man, I reached out to a couple big companies, because I don't want to work under anyone. I want to work for myself officially. But I will be under a big brand, and I will find out in about 2 weeks. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's a little scary, but I'm here for it. And I'm also in the process of rebranding my photography and videography. Um, I'm getting more into production and film opposed to just video shoots and, studio shoots and portfolio work. I'm starting up my reels so I can get some production done because the opportunity was launched at me, and I'm just like, ooh, So, I got to have the resources. So right now I'm just building. Listen, anybody that's in a tri-state, next month I'm doing all video shoots for 300, two
Talk to us.
locations, 4K video, and all edits, and it'll take up to 72 hours. That's all month of August until I can't take any more requests. That's what I'm doing because I got to build all of this
Working
up.
out here, working.
I
Now
have
you
to.
already gave us some tidbits, some pieces to take with us. But I always ask anybody that I interview, what is some advice that you might be able to give to the next Taylor Shante, somebody that might be out here in Jersey or other places that is looking at the price of a camera and thinking, I don't know, man, I don't know what I want to do with this. What do you have to say to encourage these people to chase after their dreams?
It starts with you, so love yourself and fall in love with what you do. That's number one. Fall in love with what you do. After
Amen.
you fall in love with what you do, start small. Do free stuff until you can finally be like, I ain't doing this for free. Like, I can't. Make those small investments. You can't get everything at one time. Listen, I've been doing this for 10 years and I just got my Sony and I couldn't really afford it. Honestly, I had to pay my parents back off as they invested in me. But if you know what you're doing, invest, learn, continue your education. And it doesn't mean going back to school. YouTube, find a mentor, find someone you can intern under and
Amen.
go for it. Don't stop. Don't take no for an answer. Every no is a step closer to a yes. And honestly, my career path is the only thing that I'm 100% about and in love with.
Yo,
Anything else in life, I'm all more wishy washy. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck, but I know my career and my love for my passion and my drive. That's the only thing that I honestly should be worried about because this is what's gonna feed my family. Don't stop. Just do it. If you fall on your ass, get back up because it's gonna happen. But you only fail when you quit. So don't quit ever. Take a break, but don't quit.
right. Don't drive yourself crazy now. But
Listen, I've been
you
there
got to be a
too.
little bit crazy to go after this dream, right?
Right.
Damn
Definitely.
straight,
Just
damn
go
straight.
for it.
So, Taylor Shante, I love you for being a part. Just outside of everything, I love you. So I thank you for being super dope and
Of
sitting down
course.
and talking to us today. But I definitely want you to promote your show. Let us know where people can listen to you, where you can find you at.
All right, guys. So listen, tonight I have a show on East Coast time. It is 6:30. Tonight, 6:30 p.m. We have Shireen, and the topic is war, and it stands for Woman and Resources. So I'm definitely going to tune into that. It's also a takeover. My next show will be Friday, which will also be our last takeover. My show is every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Stationhead TC Media. It's always a vibe.
Damn
And
straight.
my
Make
Instagram.
TC Media. Follow Taylor Shante official.
On
Official. Now
IG.
let us know about Corey Ellis and Futuristic, this track that you requested to have out. And shout out to TC once again for putting on the independent artists and stuff like that, showcasing their work that we might not have heard of.
Of of course, Corey Ellis. Ah man, that's my bro. He was on the show and we made a dope connection. I had him as on my show. Indie artist from Vegas. He does R&B, a little bit of hip hop. He sings, he raps. Dope. He's dope from Vegas, and I had him on the show to do an interview, and now he's sending me unreleased music sometimes. So got to do it for the indie artist. Shout out to Corey Ellis.
Dope. So let's get into that right now. TC Media, once again, everybody, throw up some flames for her if you will. Please make sure you guys are following TC Media. And once again, Taylor CHANTE Official on Instagram. We appreciate you for being a part of the show, Taylor.
Appreciate you,
Stay
Vince
tuned. She's got
Bracy.
so much more dopeness coming up. Thank you, TC.
Gotcha.
Let's get into this Corey Ellis. Thank you again for listening to Vince Bracy on Air. You can catch my show every Tuesday at 12 noon to 2 p.m. on Stationhead. As always, I'm sending you out with peace, positivity. Remember to get to the bag and always follow your dreams.
Tryna have a good night. You can't blow my high. You can't wreck my night. Who tryna be sinful? Let's have a good time. I'ma need an Uber. Can somebody get a lift? Girl, the way you maneuver made me wanna take a sip. I got 2 red cups and that cup's filled up. Plus I got a big bottle for the Henny. Tryna drink it all fast, cause the way you throw it back made me feel like that booty gotta hit me. Come with me, about to get you in for free. What you drinking, girl? I brought all that with me. Let's have a good time. Tryna have a good night. You can't blow my high. You can't wreck my night. Who tryna be sinful? Let's have a good time.
Yeah, only good times round me. Change the only constant, keep dimes round me. My life ain't a circus. No